According to a telephone survey conducted last January, 85% of state legislators report reading a Heartland publication sometimes or always, and 47% say a Heartland publication had influenced their opinions or led to a change in public policy. More legislators report using Heartland's publications than the publications of any other think tank.
As a state rep, even a lowly state rep, I get a lot of stuff in the mail, a lot of stuff to read. I can always count on the Heartland Institute stuff to be solid, thoughtful, and right to the point. I'm very thankful for the work they do.
I'm Lawrence Miller from the state of Connecticut. I'm the House member for the last 20 years. I represent the 122nd District, and I'm here to talk about Heartland, one of my favorite organizations. My wife often tells me that I got to put down the newspapers that I'm reading, and they're all from Heartland regarding the environment, budget, you name it, and I'm there reading them from cover to cover because they're interesting and they provide us with a lot of facts that we're not getting from the press and other sources of information. So Heartland is a terrific organization. Everybody should be supporting Heartland. That's how good they are.
Most legislators can relate to the fact that we get stacks of mail, and I got to say that I actually look forward to seeing the studies and the information from the Heartland Institute, and I read that information, and I found it most helpful.
I really value the Institute's work. It provides me with prompt and timely information when I need it, and the publications are great. It lets us know what's working and what's not around the nation. So it's that one place I can look for market-based thinking, policies that prove that competition and innovation, not government, give us the best results.
I took some of those materials back to my state, and in Arizona we had a big bill that came through last year that was just full of things that would have destroyed our economy, and so I used materials from Heartland to counteract them. And I think that if not for Heartland, I wouldn't have had those things at my disposal.
The Heartland Institute was one of the first free market groups to recognize that false information about global warming was being used by environmentalists to advocate draconian restrictions on energy. In 2008 and 2009, the Heartland Institute hosted 3 widely acclaimed international conferences on climate change.
This season's weather, however, hasn't stopped a group of academics and scientists from getting together and telling anyone who will listen that climate change is the theory that never was. Here's Miles O'Brien continuing our Planet in Peril series.
The Heartland is no place for a polar bear to take refuge. The Heartland Institute, that is.
Because this cycle is natural, because the wildlife has been through it before, we will not lose species to global warming.
The whole essence of the conference basically proves that the consensus theory that Al Gore has been pushing and that the mainstream media have been pushing for years, it's all bogus.
If you listen to the mainstream media, there is no debate about global climate change. It's happening. The Earth is getting warmer. There's nothing you can do about it. Man has caused all of it. Scientists agree. Now fork over the cash. Given those facts, there is absolutely no way that a major conference on climate change skeptics could possibly be going on in New York City this week. That people with impeccable credentials, like Harvard astrophysicist Willie Soon, Wharton professor Scott Armstrong, or IPCC co-chairman Yuri Israel, could be in New York today to speak at a conference like that. And there is absolutely no way that a sitting president of an important country like the Czech Republic, President Václav Klaus, would be giving the keynote address at a conference, let alone be sitting right here in my studio to talk about it. But wow, he is. Mr. President.
Heartland's international conferences on climate change attracted hundreds of top academics, scientists, and political leaders from around the world.
We're an organization that was developed entirely to bring factual information to elected state and local officials. They're our target. We want to bring objective, non-biased information on a wide variety of issues, including the environment, the climate, healthcare, education, tax reform, to the guy at home that has to vote in his state on issues, or the mayor of a big city, or his city council. Everything we do is just providing unbiased information, and if there's a slant, it's just personal freedom and a market-based approach.
Heartland has been about getting the word out on climate change for a long time. It's been a leader in that area. Their leadership is now having a synergistic effect with the other think tanks that may be more prominent. And everybody is getting behind what these guys started.
Well, I think the Heartland Institute is doing a yeoman job on this by, first of all, putting out important books, by putting out important newspapers, and by sponsoring a conference like this one, which is bringing together people who are skeptic, both scientists and non-scientists, and encouraging them thereby to speak out. It shows them that they're not alone. That's, I think, is extremely important.
The Heartland Institute, realizing that there was a problem caused by the fact that science had become politicized, and realizing, as a free market institute itself, that this was a disguised but very dangerous and very powerful threat to the continuing survival of free market economics in the West, decided that it would speak out against this itself. Why is it important that the Heartland Institute and other institutes like it should do this? Because somebody has to argue for the truth when the politicians won't, not enough of the scientists will, the media won't because they can always get a bigger headline saying world to end because of global warming, shock, sensation, pictures on pages 2 through 35, than to put the correct headline, which is dull but true, and the truth is not always exciting. Climate continuing change.